What are stem cells?
For what I understand, stem cells has to do with your genetics, your DNA, your body, something to that point.
We interviewed Joshua Ortiz from Baylor College of Medicine at the Neurological Research Institute in Houston, Texas. We asked him, what are stem cells?
Stem cells are the most basic unit in the body. They're pretty much cells that can become any other cell. They're a special type of cell that can differentiate or become a specialized unit, so they can become any sort of cell.
Stem cells are all over the bloodstream. They are found all over the body, but are mainly extracted from bone marrow. This extraction is commonly used in cancer patients. Stem cells are able to divide into different types of cells and form into white blood cells and red blood cells. Stem cells are an important part of healing. These cells can turn into skin cells as well as muscle cells and macrophage cells. Studies are starting to show that stem cells are also found in the brain and can be turned into nerve cells with a very difficult process.
Stem cells can be found as embryonic stem cells and adult stem cells. Adult stem cells can be found in umbilical cord blood and bone marrow. Embryonic stem cells are found in 5-DL embryos. These cells are able to differentiate into more specialized cells than adult stem cells. Both of these cells can then be transplanted into the harmed area.
This is video evidence of stem cell division.
I think stem cells up to a certain point should be legal as long as it's not a life breathing part of the stem cell. Then I know it has its benefits and pros and cons, but it just all depends on at what point.
I'm 100% for it, for stem cell research. See, I feel like today, the reason why there's an issue with stem cell is stem cell research is due to ignorance of people. And it's not so much their fault, it's the media's fault for their portrayal of stem cell research. So there's actually different types of research, and the whole controversy about it is that stem cells have to be removed from the blast in developing embryos. So once you remove the blast from developing embryos, you kill the embryo. So essentially, for a lot of people who choose where life begins, then they would have an issue with stem cell research. But that's just one aspect of stem cell research. Nowadays, you have induced pluripotent adult stem cells, and they have that's also stem cell research without the use of developing embryos. So I think the reason why a lot of people are against it or for it or whatever their opinion is, mainly against it, is because of their ignorance on the subject. They don't know what a stem cell is, and they don't know the whole controversy behind it. They just listen to what the media portrays stem cell research to be, or what some random teacher in a class tells them what it is. Yeah, my whole project is based on stem cells. So we do research on what's called neurogenesis, and that's the ability for the brain to develop new neurons. And in mammals, there's several locations within the brain that can do that. Because most of the time, once your brain is formed, it's completely formed, and no cells are renewed. So like once your cells die in your brain, they die. They don't get replenished. But there are certain places in the brain that does happen. So we study those places, and those little locations are called stem cell niche. And those little stem cell niche continue to produce new neurons and replenish any sort of lost neurons. But that's mainly in the hippocampus, which is responsible for learning.
Here's the result of stem cell research. These lungs were stripped of their cells and then were transplanted with stem cells. To strip the cells out, they used a commonly used chemical found in shampoo. A heart like the one you see here has been stripped of its cells, but the structure is completely intact. With the use of many different machines plugged into the heart, it begins to beat and come alive. both be like, what are stem cells?
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 I don't know.